Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, sunlight streaming gently through your curtains, the soft sound of birds outside your window, and as you stretch, you feel a sense of calm filling the room. There are no piles of papers scattered on the dining table, no stacks of clothes quietly haunting the corner of your bedroom, no cluttered counters, making you sigh every time you walk past them. Instead, your home feels like a retreat, a space where your heart can finally rest. Did you know that studies show people living in uncluttered, organized environments not only sleep more soundly, but also experience lower stress levels? That's not just a scientific fact. It's a gift you can give yourself, no matter your age, no matter your stage of life. But let's be honest, right now, maybe your home feels far from that peaceful picture. Maybe you look around and see decades of memories stacked in boxes, mail that somehow multiplied overnight, or knickknacks you swore you'd deal with later. And maybe, just maybe, you've asked yourself in a whisper, where do I even begin? That thought can be overwhelming. Here's the truth. You are not alone. So many seniors and retirees feel exactly the same way. The weight of clutter doesn't just sit on shelves or in closets. It sits on your shoulders, on your mind, on your spirit. But the beautiful secret is this: letting go doesn't have to be painful, and decluttering doesn't have to be exhausting. Today, I'm going to share 9 simple, gentle steps designed specifically for you. Steps that make the process safe, comforting, and even joyful. Steps that will help you reclaim your home, your energy, and your peace of mind. And once you start, you may find that it's easier than you ever imagined. The very first step is the simplest, yet it holds the most power. Start with just one small space. Not your entire kitchen, not the whole bedroom, not even the whole closet. Choose one drawer, one shelf, one tiny corner of your living room. That's it. You see, when we look at an entire house filled with years of memories, possessions, and yes, even piles of things we don't know what to do with, it feels like standing at the bottom of a mountain. The climb looks impossible. But here's the truth. No one ever reaches the top by leaping in a single bound. You take one step, then another, and slowly, gently, the view begins to change. So take that first step. Maybe it's the junk drawer in the kitchen that has been collecting pens, paper clips, and menus for the last 10 years. Maybe it's that one chair in the corner that has become a resting spot for laundry. It doesn't matter how small it seems, because the magic lies in starting. And here's the part that surprises most people. Once you clear just one little space, something inside you shifts. You feel a rush of relief, almost like a deep exhale you didn't know you were holding. The clutter that once seemed unbeatable suddenly looks like something you can handle. But the shocking part is this: once you finish that single space, you'll want to keep going. You'll find yourself saying, well, maybe I can do that shelf too. And before you realize it, the momentum has carried you further than you thought possible. If you've ever felt the weight lift after simply tidying up a corner, you know exactly what I mean. That small victory is the spark that lights the path forward. And if you've ever whispered to yourself, maybe I can do this after all, then you've already taken the first step toward transformation. Now that you've taken that first step, it's time to give yourself a simple system that makes decisions easier and faster. One of the most effective ways to do this is the 3-box method. All you need are 3 boxes or bins. Label them clearly: keep, donate, and discard. Then go back to that small space you just tackled or move to a new one and pick up each item one at a time. The rule is simple. Touch it once, decide immediately, and place it in one of the 3 boxes. No shuffling back and forth, no second guessing, no creating a 4th pile of maybe later. Here's why this method works so well. It removes the endless loop of hesitation. Instead of standing there holding a sweater from 20 years ago, wondering if you might wear it again, you give yourself only 3 choices. Keep it, let someone else enjoy it through donation, or thank it for its service and discard it. The clarity of having just 3 options takes away the overwhelming feeling of, what do I do with all of this? But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes when you pick up an item, you'll hear that little voice whispering, but what if I need this someday? That's the clutter talking. It's the same voice that's kept so many of us stuck for years. And yet, deep down, your heart already knows the truth. If something has been untouched, unused, or unloved for decades, the chance that you'll suddenly need it tomorrow is slim. And here's the shock that catches many people off guard. When you finally place that item in the donate or discard box, you don't feel loss, you feel freedom. It's as if the weight of indecision disappears the moment you let go. Some even describe it as reclaiming not just their space, but their energy and their clarity. If you've ever experienced that small but powerful moment of release, you know exactly what I mean. It's the instant you realize clutter was never just about things, it was about the hold those things had on you. And with every choice you make using the 3-box method, you're taking that hold back into your own hands. Before you dive into closets or drawers, pause for a moment and look at the ground beneath your feet. For many seniors, one of the greatest risks inside the home isn't dust on the shelves or clutter on the countertops. It's the piles and obstacles on the floor. Trips and falls are serious, and they often happen not because the home is dirty, but because the pathways are blocked. That's why creating safe, open walkways is one of the most important steps you can take before anything else. Start by walking slowly from room to room. Notice where you have to step over bags, squeeze around boxes, or slide past chairs. Ask yourself, could I walk through here easily at night? What about with the lights off? If the answer is no, that's the first place to begin. Clear that pathway until you could stroll through without hesitation, without fear of stumbling. The beauty of this step is that it gives you an immediate sense of relief. When you clear the floor, you create a foundation of safety that transforms the entire atmosphere of your home. Suddenly, moving from the bedroom to the kitchen feels effortless. The stress of carefully tiptoeing around piles is gone. You're not just decluttering, you're protecting yourself and giving your body the gift of confidence and ease. But here's the moment that often surprises people. Once the floor is clear, you can actually see the room again. The furniture looks brighter, the walls feel wider, the space itself seems to breathe. And in that moment, something inside you stirs. You think, if I can clear this path, maybe I can clear that table too. The momentum begins to build naturally, almost like a gentle wave carrying you forward. This is why creating safe pathways matters so much. It's not only about preventing falls, it's about showing yourself step by step that your home can be a place of freedom and peace again. And once you feel that shift, you'll never want to go back. Decluttering is not only about what you see, it's about what you feel. Sometimes we get stuck because we look at objects only with our eyes, trying to make a logical decision. But logic isn't always enough. That's why one of the most powerful ways to move forward is to invite your senses into the process. Pick up an item, close your eyes, and really notice how it makes you feel. Does it feel heavy in your hands, as if it's carrying the weight of old responsibilities? Or does it feel light, almost comforting, like a memory you're happy to keep close? Pay attention to the texture, the temperature, even the smell. Sometimes an old book carries a scent that fills you with warmth, while an unused gadget feels cold and lifeless. These tiny details speak volumes about whether an item belongs in your future or in your past. And here's the surprising twist. So often, the things we thought we needed reveal themselves to be burdens. That old kitchen appliance you never use, the pile of magazines you promised you'd read one day, the extra sets of towels hidden in the closet. When you hold them in your hands, you may suddenly feel the stress they've been quietly placing on you all these years. That moment can be shocking, like discovering a hidden weight you didn't realize you were carrying. But then comes the breakthrough. As soon as you decide to let go, your senses shift too. The air feels lighter, your body relaxes, the room itself feels calmer. It's as if the energy trapped inside those forgotten things finally releases, leaving behind peace instead of pressure. This step is not just about clearing objects. It's about listening to your body and honoring what it tells you. Because when you declutter with your senses, you don't just organize your home, you reconnect with yourself. And that connection becomes the true guide that carries you forward. One of the biggest reasons people feel paralyzed by clutter is the belief that it will take hours, even days, to make any progress. That thought alone is enough to make anyone give up before they start. But here's the secret. You don't need hours. You just need 15 minutes. Set a timer, not on your phone where you might get distracted, but on a simple kitchen timer, a small alarm clock, or even an old-fashioned egg timer. Give yourself 15 minutes to focus on one space. Tell yourself, I only have to do this until the timer rings. The beauty of this method is that it shrinks an overwhelming task into something manageable, something that feels almost effortless. In those 15 minutes, you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish. A single drawer cleared, a corner of the living room transformed, a stack of papers finally sorted. And when the timer goes off, you have permission to stop. You've already done enough. You've already won. But here's the fascinating part. Your brain doesn't like unfinished business. This is where the Zeigarnik effect comes in. When you stop in the middle of progress, your mind keeps thinking about it. You'll find yourself drawn back to the task, wanting to finish, eager to continue. That natural pull becomes your ally. And sometimes when the timer rings, you'll feel so good that you decide to keep going anyway. Suddenly, 15 minutes turns into 30, maybe even an hour, and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like flow. This small ritual builds momentum. Day after day, 15 minutes adds up. What once felt like an impossible mountain begins to shrink, one little piece at a time. And the most powerful part? You no longer feel overwhelmed. You feel in control. You feel hopeful. Because 15 minutes isn't just a timer, it's the doorway to change. It's proof that no matter how much clutter surrounds you, you can always begin. And beginning is all it takes to transform everything. As you move deeper into the process, you'll inevitably come across items that hold memories. A photograph of your children when they were small, a letter from a dear friend who has long since passed, a gift you received on a birthday that feels like it was just yesterday. These are not just objects, they are pieces of your life, reminders of moments that shaped who you are, and they matter. But here's the gentle truth. You don't have to keep everything to honor your memories. In fact, trying to hold on to every single item can sometimes blur the memories rather than preserve them. When every object becomes special, the truly meaningful ones lose their shine. So here's a softer approach. Invite the memory. Sit with it. Let it wash over you. If holding that photo brings a smile to your face, keep it.
If reading that letter makes you feel connected again, treasure it. But if an object only stirs up heaviness, guilt, or stress, ask yourself if keeping it is really helping you or if it's quietly weighing you down. Many people find comfort in keeping just one or two items that represent an entire season of life. A single photo that captures the spirit of a whole vacation. A single keepsake that symbolizes a decade of memories. That way, the memory stays alive, but the clutter does not take over your space. And here's the shocking truth that often catches people by surprise. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. You don't lose the person, the moment, or the love tied to that item. What you gain instead is clarity. You give the memory room to breathe, to live in your heart rather than in a dusty box. This moment can feel bittersweet. Tears may come, but so does a quiet strength. Because in choosing what to keep and what to release, you are not discarding your story, you are curating it. You are making space for the memories that matter most, while gently releasing the rest. And when you do, you'll find that your home feels lighter, your heart feels freer, and your memories feel even more vivid than before. Decluttering doesn't have to feel like a dreaded chore. In fact, one of the most powerful ways to make real progress is to turn it into a daily ritual, something you actually look forward to. Instead of seeing it as a heavy task, you can shape it into a moment of calm, a pause in your day that nourishes your spirit as much as it clears your space. Start by setting the scene. Light a candle with a scent that soothes you. Put on gentle music that relaxes your mind. Pour yourself a warm cup of tea or coffee. Then choose one small area to focus on, knowing you only need to spend a few minutes there. When you surround yourself with comfort, decluttering stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like an act of self-care. The beauty of this approach is that your brain begins to connect decluttering with peace. It becomes a ritual you crave, just like a morning walk or an evening prayer. You're no longer rushing through piles, frustrated and tired. You're slowing down, breathing, and treating yourself with kindness. And here's the twist that many people don't expect. Once decluttering becomes part of your daily rhythm, it stops being overwhelming altogether. You no longer see a mountain of clutter. You see small, gentle steps that gradually create lasting change. The more you repeat this ritual, the more natural it feels, until clearing a space becomes as ordinary and as soothing as brushing your teeth or making your bed. Some people even say, I actually look forward to my decluttering time now. Imagine that, looking forward to something that once felt impossible. That shift doesn't just clear your home, it changes the way you feel about yourself, your time, and your space. By making decluttering a daily ritual, you give yourself the gift of consistency, peace, and progress. Day by day, little by little, your home transforms, not through force or pressure, but through calm, gentle devotion. And that is what makes the change last. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning that we don't have to do everything alone. For many people, asking for help feels like admitting defeat, like we're not strong enough or organized enough to handle things by ourselves. But the truth is, seeking help is not a weakness. It is an act of strength, humility, and wisdom. When you invite others into the process, you create connection, support, and momentum that you could never achieve on your own. Think about the times you've helped someone else. Did you see them as weak? Or did you feel honored to be trusted, valued, because they allowed you to be part of their journey? Most of the time, offering help to someone we love feels rewarding. So why deny others that same opportunity with you? Letting go of guilt and asking for support can turn decluttering from a lonely, overwhelming struggle into a shared and even joyful experience. Help can come in many forms. It might be a family member sitting beside you as you sort through old boxes, offering comfort when the emotions become heavy. It could be a friend giving you an honest perspective on what you truly need to keep. Or maybe it's a professional organizer who brings expertise and structure when you feel stuck. No matter where it comes from, help can provide the clarity and encouragement you need to keep moving forward. And here's the beauty of it. Asking for help is not just about clearing physical clutter. It's about strengthening bonds, creating memories, and reminding yourself that you are not alone in life. When you release the guilt and accept support, you open the door to healing and growth, both for yourself and for those who walk beside you. By embracing help without guilt, you allow decluttering to become more than a task. It becomes a shared act of love, trust, and transformation. And that makes the journey not only easier, but far more meaningful.
When the clutter is finally gone, take a moment to pause. Look around. Breathe. Feel the difference. The sunlight now dances freely across the floor. A clear countertop invites creativity instead of stress. The chair in the corner is no longer buried under a pile of clothes. It's ready to be used for sitting, reading, or simply enjoying a quiet moment. These small changes might seem simple, but they carry a profound impact. They are the physical evidence of your effort, your decision-making, and your courage to let go. Celebrate these victories, no matter how small. Maybe you cleared a single shelf, a single drawer, or finally tackled that junk drawer that has haunted you for years. Each cleared space is a triumph, a tangible step toward reclaiming your home, your time, and your peace of mind. Feel the satisfaction in your body, the release in your chest, the quiet joy in knowing that you have created room for calm and clarity. And here's the powerful truth. Decluttering is never just about objects. It's about reclaiming energy, focus, and serenity. Each item you've let go of is a burden removed, making space for things that truly matter. Moments of relaxation, creativity, connection, and joy. Your home now breathes with you, reflecting the calm and order you've nurtured within it. Take this moment to acknowledge yourself. Appreciate your persistence, your patience, and the choices you made along the way. This is your home, shaped by your hands, filled with intentional space and peace. Every step you took was part of a transformation that is as emotional as it is physical. Remember, you don't have to do it all at once. One step, one drawer, one corner at a time is enough to create lasting change. And when you pause to celebrate the space you've created, you are not just tidying a room, you are honoring yourself, your journey, and the life you are continuing to build. This is the true reward of decluttering, and it is yours to cherish every single day. So here's my invitation. Tonight, before you go to bed, choose just one small space. A drawer, a shelf, a little corner. Start there. And as you let go, remember, you're not losing, you're gaining space, peace, and clarity. Maybe you've experienced moments like this before. Maybe you've wondered, what if my home could feel this calm every day? It can. And as you move through these 9 steps, you'll see it for yourself. Because this isn't just decluttering. This is creating the peaceful, safe, and beautiful home you truly deserve.